Oh, you must be here for Jarrad. My apologies. Let's get into it. Let me tell you why Jarrad Branthwaite is the perfect option for Manchester United if we want to sign a long-term centre-back with a potential of becoming world-class. Now, Manchester United haven't had a world-class centre-back since the days of Rio Ferdinand and Nemanja Vidic. Lisandro has had moments in the sun, but hasn't done it on a consistent basis and hasn't done it at the highest level, Champions League finals, stuff like this. You also have Raphael Varane, who in his prime is no doubt world-class, but was very injury-prone for Manchester United, so he was never consistently in the team. And Harry Maguire's had his peaks at times where he's looked, almost world-class or really, really good, but in my opinion, I wouldn't suggest it was near a world-class level. So defensively, we've been chopping and changing over the past decade. However, Manchester United's new partial owners, Ineos, are going to look to rip that up and go down a new direction. And I absolutely agree with it. We're going to go away from signing the usual kind of, 30-year-olds who are a massive name, signing them on huge wages and having no longevity in that kind of deal. We're going to switch that to more kind of the next Varane. Where's that coming from? You think about the sell-on value, you think about lower wages, more longevity, awkward Brexit laws with some European players, so that's maybe why they're going more towards Jarrad Branthwaite. There's a lot of complications with it, but I think going down this route, in terms of for the future for Manchester United, is much better. So it's one thing identifying talent, but then you have to ask yourselves internally and personally, what do you specifically want from a centre-back yourself? Now, the list I've kind of compiled here is what any team would usually want from a modern-day centre-back. So tall, physical strength, of course, pace and athleticism, so you're quick off the mark, very good on the ball, composed in pressurised moments, tactical intelligence, versatility across the back line, and consistency along with reliability. And if you want to go through that list and see if Jarrad Branthwaite ticks any of them off, let's go through it together. So I mentioned, tall, physical. Jarrad Branthwaite's 6'5" and wins 68% of his ground duels and aerial duels in the Premier League. He's very quick for his height and extremely mobile as well. He isn't like a tree, caught in the wind. He's very good in them areas. He can take the ball under pressure, can play the ball through the lines. Good distribution range, which can be improved, and I think he's capable of it. And he's also very confident on the ball. You talk about defensive records, one of the best in the league. He's managed to keep 12 clean sheets despite Everton finishing 15th. He plays at centre-back alongside James Tarkowski, but at PSV under Ruud van Nistelrooy. He played on the right-hand side, so he's showing his ambipedal nature and able to play across. I speak about versatility. So you're going through the list, and you're like, tick, 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 tick. He's got everything. Absolutely everything. There are little rooms for improvements and little niggly points where people might be like, oh, well, you're kind of nitpicking there, and I'll get into them towards the end. But let's go through his career path first and foremost and how he's got to the point where he is at the moment. So Branthwaite began his career in the youth academy at Carlisle United. He made his first team debut. Sure, defenders were made in Carlisle. No, I'm joking. He made his first team debut in October 2019 at the age of 17, quickly establishing himself as a reliable defender for the club. In January 2020, Everton signed Branthwaite from Carlisle. He made his Premier League debut in July 2020, showing maturity and potential despite only a limited number of opportunities. He then got loaned to Blackburn Rovers to gain some more first-team experience. He was loaned in the second half of the season, I believe it was, so 21 to 22. He made 10 appearances in the Championship altogether, earning praises for his performances. Now, returning to Everton, Branthwaite continued to develop under a number of different coaches, including the one and only himself, Don Carlo, who's praised him, on a number of occasions and also given quite a lot of opportunities as well. He had, frequently featured for the first team, showcased his defensive skills and ball-playing ability on a regular basis. In 2022-23 season, Branthwaite was loaned to PSV Eindhoven in the Dutch Eredivisie to link up with former Manchester United player Ruud van Nistelrooy. This stint proved highly beneficial as he gained valuable experience in other European competitions and he got regular first-team football. And then you're talking about different tactical setups as well, different ways of approaching the game, further honing in on his skills. And it's amazing what a good, solid loan spell can do in it. Following his successful loan spell, Branthwaite returned to Everton for the 23-24 season, where he played more of a significant role in the squad. Given his enhanced experience and development, contributing to 12 clean sheets and a number of impressive individual performances, which I'm going to get into right now. So a great shining example from last season where he performed really well was the Merseyside derby. Fantastic performance, stopping and nullifying Liverpool's attacking threats and earning praise for his mature performance in such a high-pressure match. Another example against a strong Arsenal side, he displayed excellent positioning and tackling in certain moments, helping Everton secure a vital point. His ability to read the game and make crucial interceptions throughout the full 90 minutes was a real highlight in this one. Branthwaite also played a key role in a solid defensive display against us, actually, back in November. If you guys can remember it, I thought his aerial ability and calm distribution under pressure were crucial in stopping our attacks. It was also a game as well against West Ham in a tightly contested match. Branthwaite's solidity and passing accuracy really stood out in this game. He was instrumental in maintaining a clean sheet and initiating several attacking plays from the back. And one of the last examples I'm going to use is the game against Aston Villa, which was, I think, one of the first games of the season. Strong, great tackling, ability to maintain possession under pressure, and his performance alone helped Everton secure an important win and set the tone for the season and his own individual season. So how does Jarrad Branthwaite fit into our system? How will it work? There's a couple of angles you can kind of come at this from. I'm going to start off with the centre-back partnership. You want a centre-back partnership that's going to complement each other, right? You think about any modern-day ones who complement each other. Think about any of the past ones that we can go through. You know, you look at Lisandro, for example. What does Lisandro lack? What would complement him? So Lisandro lacks physicality at times, height, aerial ability. He's not the quickest. He's not slow, but he's not the quickest. Branthwaite can make up for every single one of these individual weak spots that Lisandro's got in his game, and he can be the aggressor pressing up into midfield. Now, on the flip side of things, what does Branthwaite lack? Not much, to be honest with you. He's pretty solid all around and he's pretty complete. But because of Everton's style of play, he hasn't been able to showcase his ball-playing ability as much as he would like. So when you look at his progressive passes and passes into the final third, the statistics don't look great, whereas Lisandro is one of the best in Europe at doing this, and he can take that baggage off Branthwaite. Another concept that's been discussed widely as well is potentially moving Lisandro over to left-back at times in certain different games to have tactical advantage, having Branthwaite move over to left centre-back and allowing Martinez to step into midfield and Branthwaite defending them kind of wide areas where he's comfortable. But on both sides, he's decent anyway. There isn't really a weakness playing in both. You know, as a unit, there's so much rotation and variability that you could have with it. That's what I think's like really interesting. If you look at Rio and Vidic, who are referenced at the start of the video, why did they work so well? You know, if Vida wanted to be the aggressor, Rio had no problem sweeping up or defending 1v1 in those wide areas because he was so good at it and so strong. And Branthwaite, that's where he shines. If you watch him for Everton in them channels against tricky wingers, he's phenomenal. Having someone like Branthwaite as well would allow for Manchester United to push up the pitch, making the press much more compact, and we would look less stretched in midfield, which is one of the glaring issues from last season. You can maintain a high line with confidence in the centre-backs, you know, with their ability to sweep up or defend 1v1. You wouldn't have to worry subconsciously about what's going on behind you. So where does the Harry Maguire comparison come in then? I think people are naturally made, and people who I respect, by the way, are naturally made these kind of comparisons to Maguire because of the £70 million price tag, the fact that they're both tall and strong, the fact that they're both English centre-halves. But that's where the comparison ends, really. So people actually forget, when we bought Harry Maguire, he was already an established player when we bought him for like 80 million quid. Whereas Branthwaite has hardly kicked a ball for England and just had his first full proper season in the Premier League. I think Branthwaite's more of a kind of modern centre-back, as we discussed before. Composure on the ball, can play out from the back, can defend 1v1 in wide areas, and is comfortable there. Can you say the same for Harry Maguire? No, he's more of a traditional defensive playing style, known for his aerial dominance and physical presence, often relying on the strength in defensive duels or set pieces to showcase what he's about. And he's actually done that quite a few times against Everton, ironically. We should probably do a swap deal because he'd suit Everton and Branthwaite would suit us. Anyway, you know, you move on to other things when you talk about the comparison. Pace, I mean, it's not even close. Branthwaite is well quicker than Harry Maguire. You look at Maguire's kind of liability against quick, agile attackers. He turns like a limousine in quicksand, which is completely different to Branthwaite's. Branthwaite's is much more agile, and he has then pace to deal with these kind of threats that we're talking about. So the comparison is, I mean, I just don't understand it. I think Maguire's also prone to a lot more lapses in concentration. I mean, he's had his pocket picked more times than anyone, and I haven't seen this yet from Branthwaite, so I would be opposed to think, you know, he's not really prone to mistakes. I think Harry Maguire is much more prone to lapses in concentration as well. I haven't seen that side from Branthwaite yet, but again, you could kind of say, maybe he's more protected at Everton. He's not as exposed, and that would, dramatically change at Manchester United. But from what I've seen from his game, he's no way near Maguire in terms of mistakes. The initial investment is going to be more cost effective if you want to compare the price. Maguire deal just was so wrong on so many levels for so many obvious reasons. Branthwaite's more adaptable and versatile due to experience in other leagues, so he knows how to play different systems. Maguire primarily played in the Premier League for the majority of his career or in the Championship, so he was less adaptive to specific styles. So what they're talking about, they're not the same player. So who else is on the list then? If we can't get this deal through, who else are Manchester United looking at? So we was looking at Lenny Yoro at Lille, another fantastic option, but it seems like he wants to move to Real Madrid, and he's even willing to play another season at Lille and then move to Madrid on a free. So that deal looks like it's gone. We can't sign to Debo because of stupid UEFA regulations to multi-club ownerships. So he's off the table, which would have been a good cheap deal to do. Bremer of Juventus will probably cost a similar amount to Branthwaite's, and I don't think he's as good. I think Bremer's more of a traditional, old-school brute who's good in the air, good in the tackle, but not phenomenal on the ball. So it doesn't offer you much in that respect. And then you had Tosin Adarabioyo, who he was also linked with, but now he's gone to Chelsea on a free. So there's 3 centre-backs off the market as an option. So it's getting desperate times for United at the minute, and we have Everton currently who are saying we want 70 million plus for Branthwaite, and we're gonna, we're putting in bids of 30 plus 8 or 35 plus 8 in add-ons, I think it was. So it's yet to be seen if both clubs are willing to meet in the middle on a compromise, which actually leaves us a little bit stuck if you think about it, because if we can't get this deal over the line, and it certainly seems like Everton are in a stronger position now, because there was initial concerns about their PSR and how they could regulate it, and them needing to sell players basically before the deadline and what classes as this year's spending before the 30th of June, I think it is, or the 1st of July. That doesn't seem to be as bad. So the pressure isn't on them to sell as much. And if they can sell an asset like Amadou Onana, who Manchester United are also been interested in, then that would also ease them needing to sell a certain player. So they could well keep all the Branthwaites for another season. And then that leaves a worry about, well, if we do, leave it for another 12 months, other clubs, if he has another fantastic season and replicates what he's done, there are going to be many other clubs interested, and that's where we might start to lose the battle. So it's a tricky situation. And as I say, as time goes on, targets will start to disappear more and more. United will look more desperate, and they may end up taking a gamble on a defender if they can't get the price that they want. They might go for an Inacio or a Bremer, or maybe another opportunity will present itself on the market. But for me, that's not a risk I'm willing to take personally. So I hope they can get this deal over the line, because I think he's a phenomenal centre-back and a phenomenal talent and a huge ceiling. And it'd be a great investment on United's part. So time for your opinion then. I'm going to leave you guys with 5 questions and answer them in the comment section if you can. Number 1, how much should Manchester United go in terms of price? Number 2, do you think Branthwaite can become a world-class centre-back? Number 3, if this deal falls through, who would you go for realistically? Number 4, do you think him not going to the Euros is better for us in terms of doing a deal? And number 5, do you like videos like this and want more content like this? Let us know in the comment section. Right, so that is the end of the show, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in and spending your time with me today. Please do leave a like on the video for us, share to a friend, and hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. For the members who get this early, a couple of days before the public, if you want to become a member and have that opportunity, click the link in the description or the join button next to the notification bell. Apart from that, my name's Nick. I hope you've had a wonderful day. This is Real Reds Talk. We'll see you guys in the next one.